Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A fallen North Park firefighter is laid to rest. First responders pay their respects and participate in a solemn procession.
Lawmakers return to the Illinois State Capitol. They outline their priorities for this lame duck session.
And the Mega Millions jackpot keeps growing ahead of tonight's big drawing. How much you could take home if you hit the jackpot. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
Today, the community gathered to say their final goodbyes to a local fallen firefighter.
Nikel Delgado was at the memorial. Nikel, it's pretty obvious the impact he had on the community.
That's right, Eric and Mimi. It has been an emotional day for many, and many are still in shock for Brian Renberg's departure from us. But today we see that Brian had touched so many lives.
Brian was a very determined person. He was a very hardworking person, and he was a very loving person.
Today, hundreds have gathered at the Indoor Sports Center for Brian Renberg's memorial. The firefighter and engineer passed away from a cardiac-related condition on Christmas Day, shortly after returning home from his shift. His death is being treated as a line-of-duty death. Captain Lauren Schultz tells me she worked with Brian for 12 years when she first started at North Park. Brian was her mentor, and when she became his captain, he was proud of her.
He was always, like I said, everyone's biggest cheerleader, and Brian was always behind everyone 100%. He always wanted to see everyone succeed.
Brian served for multiple departments all around the state line, including Rockford, Cherry Valley, Kirkland, and most recently, North Park Fire Protection District. He was with North Park for the past 14 years.
He was always there when we needed him. He really demonstrated what a true friend should look like. He would always call and check up on you, just out of the blue.
I think all of us probably got a phone call from Brian every other day. He was always checking in on everyone else, even when we weren't on shift. So I think I will take that away.
Captain Matt Johnson said Brian was a true friend, always willing to help and go above and beyond, and a mentor to all.
We could all be better by remembering Brian's example, his work ethic, his kindness, friendship, and dedication to the community and the department.
Both Captain Johnson and Schultz say it's going to be hard to heal from losing a firefighter like Brian, but they will heal together.
Thank him for everything he did for us, and tell him that we love him and that we love his family, and that we're going to continue being there for his family for now and for the future, because it doesn't just end here.
Renberg was only 50 years old. He leaves behind a wife and son. Eric?
Thanks, Nikel. After the ceremony, police and fire trucks took part in a procession to the funeral home. It went from the Indoor Sports Center west on Riverside to Alpine, past Renberg's fire station. The procession continued to Spring Creek, then Mulford, on its way to Fitzgerald Funeral Home on South Mulford.
A teenager is recovering after getting shot on New Year's Day. Police were called to Cameron Avenue, just east of Springfield Avenue, around 2:30 Sunday. A 15-year-old boy was walking toward the parking lot of his residence when he heard gunshots and ran. He was struck in the ankle and was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. If you have any information on the shooting, call Rockford Police or Crime Stoppers.
A Kane County woman is dead after a crash in Ogle County. First responders were called to Route 64 and Mulford Road Monday afternoon. According to deputies, 40-year-old Mary Elmore of Elburn was behind the wheel of a Ford Escape. They say she went through the intersection without stopping at the stop sign. The Ford Escape hit a semi. Elmore died at Mercy Health Riverside in Rockford. Ogle County Sheriff's Police are still investigating.
No one is hurt after fire at a Rockford retirement facility this morning. Firefighters were called to Amberwood Nursing Home on Rockton Avenue around 10. According to investigators, a dryer caught fire and flames spread to some laundry. Staff used a fire extinguisher until firefighters arrived. About 50 residents were evacuated. A Rockford fire chief says this should serve as a reminder to others.
First of all, I would like to encourage everyone to check your dryers for the lint traps in your dryers to make sure that they're clean, especially if we're going to be running the dryer for a lot of loads of laundry. We want to make sure that that is clean, because that's a great potential for fire.
Estimated damage of the fire is $5,000.
Illinois lawmakers come back to Springfield to finish off their work before a new legislative session starts. They plan to focus on incentives to bring electric vehicle manufacturers to the state. that includes establishing a closing fund. That would set aside money for the governor to use when making deals with these companies to come to Illinois.
We want as many tools in the toolbox as possible for the administration and the state of Illinois to attract these companies. And the governor has identified other states that had this so-called closing fund that can help seal the deal when that agreement is near.
In November 2021, Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the Reimagining Electric Vehicles Act. The law gives tax credits to businesses to invest in manufacturing cars and parts for those vehicles.
For people who work in fields like cosmetology or landscaping, you need a license to practice in the state, and that usually comes with fees and exams. But a new task force in the state capitol is going to look into making it more accessible for people who can't afford it. The Climb Task Force will work to address some of the barriers in place for anyone working in jobs with licensing requirements. That includes reassessing any fees people entering a certain field have to pay or money for exams. The group will also look at limitations that impact people who want to start a small business. State Representative Carol Amons is the chair of the committee. She says small business owners and anyone with licenses will benefit from the task force's work.
I think people overall who are interested in small business, if you talk to people who have to renew licensing, they will tell you that some of these things absolutely make no sense.
It's not just lawmakers on the task force. It also includes researchers with knowledge on licensing requirements in Illinois. Is becoming a millionaire on your New Year's resolution list? Well, if so, you may be able to accomplish that goal tonight.
Mega Millions jackpot hit an estimated $785 million. The drawing takes place at 10. It's the 6th largest top prize in U.S. history. There have been 22 drawings in a row without a major winner. The chances of hitting all 6 correct numbers are 1 in nearly 303 million. A lump sum payout is worth a little more than $400 million.
We turn now to Capitol Hill, where GOP leader Kevin McCarthy failed to clinch the votes needed to become the new House Speaker in the first round of voting.
In fact, it's gone 3 rounds so far. For the first time in 100 years, a candidate has not won the speakership on the first ballot. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with day 1 of the 118th Congress.
A remarkable and embarrassing first-round loss for Kevin McCarthy, as 19 of his fellow House Republicans voted against him becoming Speaker of the 118th Congress. McCarthy pulling in fewer votes in the first stage than Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, whose caucus was united behind him. The GOP leader remains defiant.
I have the record for the longest speech ever on the floor. I don't have a problem getting a record for the most votes for Speaker, too.
Sources tell ABC News in a fiery closed-door speech ahead of the vote, McCarthy told his Republican conference that he plans to keep pushing for the speakership until the last of his detractors vote for him. Far-right members blasting him for not making more concessions.
And so now here we are, being sworn at instead of being sworn in.
Everything I heard hardened my resolve that this town desperately needs change, and if it's a few of us who have to stand in the breach to force it, we are willing to do so for as long as it takes.
Despite the hardliners' opposition, McCarthy received the votes of an overwhelming majority of his Republican members and is still the favorite to be elected Speaker. 218 votes are needed to clinch the Speaker's gavel. Republicans have a razor-thin majority of 222 members.
Kevin McCarthy has earned the speakership of the People's House.
Until the battle for the speakership is settled, the House will essentially be frozen, unable to govern, take up legislation, or even swear in lawmakers for the new Congress.
The American people don't care who the Speaker is. The American people care that they're paying $5 for a dozen eggs.
And McCarthy's failed first ballot now means voting will continue for hours, maybe days. The longest fight was more than 160 years ago in 1856. It took 2 months for the House to choose its Speaker. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The fog has been pretty thick out there for much of this afternoon, and that fog not going anywhere anytime soon. A dense fog advisory now extended to include all of northern Illinois. This will run until 9 o'clock this evening. So Joe Davies, Stevenson, Winnebago, Boone, McHenry, Ogle, Lee, DeKalb, Carroll, and Whiteside counties. Visibility has dropped down to near 0 in many locations. Reason why we've had that fog so thick today, because that warm front has fallen just south of us. So instead of our temperatures getting into the 50s this afternoon, we've been stuck in the 30s and the 40s. Take note of that visibility now under a mile across the board and down near zero in DeKalb and Sterling, even up towards Monroe, half a mile visibility in Rockford. So what's going to happen here through tonight, that fog may thicken up just a bit. So if you are heading out these next few hours, please be careful because it is going to be very hard to see with that low and reduced visibility. Temperature up to 43 in Rockford. You're still at 39 in Janesville, 38 Monroe. I do not think these numbers are going to change too much here as we go through this evening. That warm front settling just down to the south where temperatures are in the 50s and the 60s. So that's where the warmth has been and the sunshine too. 60 degrees right now in Springfield, 65 in St. Louis. Unfortunately, that warm front is going to move more east than it is north. We may see that go north a little bit here, so temperatures may go up another degree or two, but very little change in those numbers before we see that number drop back into the low 30s tonight. Good news, once a cold front comes in after midnight, we will get rid of some of that dense fog out there. Live look with our Supply Corps camera here over downtown Rockford. This brought to us by Window World. Take note of that visibility dropping quite a bit here over the last couple of hours. We've also had some showers and even a few isolated thunderstorms, elevated thunderstorms that have moved through parts of the area. Had one particular storm kind of roll through parts of southeast Ogle County, DeKalb County, did produce some small hail as that thunderstorm was a little bit more elevated. Severe weather has been ongoing further down south where there were a couple tornado warnings down just southwest of Champaign. No severe weather for us. Again, that's where all the instability stays here for us this afternoon and this evening. On the flip side of that, you've got colder air wrapping in behind that low, so winter weather once again across the upper plains and then across the upper Midwest. Snow showers are a possibility light here these next couple of days as we get on the back side of that low, and temperatures will slowly drop back, although still staying just a little bit above where we should be for the beginning of January. So let's kind of put this all together. Wind right now from the east. Once that low pressure system passes tonight, it's actually going to flip around to the southwest. Not really going to warm us up. We stay in the low 30s. You've got a little drizzle tomorrow morning, and then we are going to see that kind of transition over to some snow flurries, a light snow shower Wednesday afternoon. I think a better chance for a couple of snow showers on and off as we go throughout the day on Thursday, and off half an inch to maybe an inch between both of those days as temperatures are in the 30s. We warm up just a little bit. Another low pressure system passing to the south, but notice not a lot of change, guys, in those temperatures as we go throughout the week.
Now sports with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Good evening from the BMO, where the Ice Hogs have a very big game on tap for tonight. They will host the Central Division leading Texas Stars. The Ice Hogs are currently in second place, only 4 points behind the Stars. And the Ice Hogs have been playing very good hockey of late. They have won their last 3 games. They're third in the league in goals scored. Meanwhile, the Stars are first in the league in goals scored, but the Stars are also sixth in the league in fewest goals allowed, and their penalty kill unit is the best in the AHL. I spoke with Ice Hogs captain Garrett Mitchell this morning about the importance of this game.
You know, we've had some pretty good games with them here this season, and you know, they're in the top spot for a reason. So they've obviously got a great team and a team that works really extremely hard. But yeah, we're excited for it. I think you know, we've got a team that can score and play right there with them.
They lead the league in goals scored. They're sixth in fewest goals allowed. They're number 1 in PK, which has been amazing. And is it hard to really detect a way to attack this team because they seem to be so well-rounded?
Yeah, they're a team that jumps up in the rush. Their weak side D is always in the play, so they've got 4 guys in the play at all times. So, you know, we've put together a game plan for that, and we're excited. I mean, like I said, hockey's such a especially nowadays, there's so much parity in the game. You know, they've obviously had a lot of success here the last little bit, but you know, I think we're the last team to beat them, so we're feeling okay about ourselves.
And you guys knocked them out of the playoffs a year ago. Does any of that feeling from that kind of carry over, or is that ancient history now?
Yeah, no, it definitely is there. I'm sure it stings them more than it stings us, right? But no, like I said, they've put a great run together the last, I think they're 10 in a row or something like that right now. So, you know, they've earned their first place in the league right now, and you know, we're excited for tonight.
The Ice Hogs and the Stars have already played 5 times this season. The Ice Hogs have won 3 of those 5 games. Hey, let's get you up to date now on the condition of Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. He is still in critical condition in a Cincinnati hospital. He suffered cardiac arrest after making a tackle last night in Cincinnati. Hamlin's family has released a statement thanking the medical personnel who treated him and thanking everyone for their show of support. The NFL has announced that the Bills-Bengals game that was suspended last night won't be resumed anytime this week. There's no determination if it will be resumed at all. The Bills have to get ready to play the Patriots this Sunday. The Bengals have to play the Ravens.
Our first warning interactive radar on mystateline.com and brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got a dense fog advisory that is in effect for all of northern Illinois. That'll go until 9 o'clock tonight. Fog has been a really big issue here, especially over these last few hours, and will continue to be for the night tonight. From that, we are even going to see a little drizzle, maybe a couple of showers too as that cold front comes in. Once the front passes after midnight, we'll lose some of that fog, but it does stick around a bit. We've got some drizzle to start us off with tomorrow, and we'll see that mix in with a couple of snowflakes for tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be down in the 30s. Tonight we'll drop down to about 34 degrees, so not a lot of movement between tonight and tomorrow. We stay in the mid-30s through the week. Pretty seasonable for this time of the year.
Well, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.